Good evening. Tonight's top story.
A space marine is nothing without his armor. It's far more than just a protective suit. It's a marvel of ancient technology, a walking fortress that magnifies the wearer's strength, senses, and resilience beyond human limits. This is the legendary powered armor, the Mark 7 Aquila armor, also known as Terminator or tactical armor, in its variants crafted from layers of ceramite plating, reinforced with energy fields that can absorb and deflect even the most devastating ballistic and energy attacks. The armor is powered by a compact fusion generator implanted within the backplate. This miniature reactor supplies energy to the servos that amplify every movement up to 10 times. The strength of an unarmored human. Imagine lifting multi-ton debris, running at bursts of speed with ease, or enduring environmental hazards that would cripple regular soldiers, all made possible by this living exoskeleton. Integrated into the helmet is an advanced heads-up display that projects battlefield data in real time, enemy locations, environmental conditions, squad commands, and tactical overlays. The helmet's enhanced vision modes allow Marines to see in infrared or ultraviolet, penetrate smoke and darkness, and even detect biosignatures. Voice amplification and encrypted comms keep the Marine connected to his squad and command, no matter the chaos. The armor also supports a deadly arsenal. The iconic bolter, a compact firearm that fires explosive rounds, integrates with targeting systems to increase accuracy and firepower. Beyond guns, many Marines wield fearsome melee weapons like chainswords and power fists, capable of tearing through enemy armor and vehicles. Every weapon interfaces seamlessly with the armor's systems, giving the Marine fluid, instinctive control over his tools of war. But all this technology requires constant upkeep. Marines are trained to maintain and repair their armor, even in combat zones, using specialized tools to fix breaches, recalibrate sensors, and keep their protective field active. Failure to maintain the armor can mean death. Their survival depends on this symbiotic relationship between man and machine. This armor transforms a warrior into a titan, a walking bastion of defense and unparalleled firepower. It's not just gear. It's a living suit of war, essential for the survival of humanity's greatest defenders. Every hero must face an enemy. For the Space Marines and humanity, they confront some of the deadliest foes the galaxy has ever known. The Imperium's enemies come in many terrifying forms: Xenos, heretics, and entities born of chaos and corruption. Each enemy presents unique threats that test the Space Marines' strength, courage, and resolve. First, the Tyranids, living nightmares from beyond the stars. These bioengineered horrors descend in unstoppable swarms, consuming entire planets in ravenous hunger. They attack without mercy, overwhelming even the most disciplined defenders. Space Marines fight to hold the line against the darkness they bring, often facing death by sheer numbers. Then, the Orc Savage, brutal warriors fueled by violence and chaos. Their crude technology and barbaric tactics mask a terrifying bloodlust. Battles with orcs are vicious, chaotic melees where survival often depends on raw strength and unyielding will. The Elder Ancient and enigmatic wield psychic powers and advanced technology that challenge the Marines in unforeseen ways. The machines awaken from eons of sleep with cold precision and unrelenting force, erasing all life in their path. The greatest betrayal comes from within. The Chaos Space Marines. These fallen warriors forsook their oaths, twisted by dark gods into monstrous shadows of their former selves. They know all the tactics, strengths, and weaknesses of their loyal brethren, making every encounter a deadly test of survival and faith. Perhaps the deadliest of all are the demonic entities from the Warp Malevolent, supernatural beings that prey on both body and soul. Space Marines rely on faith, psychic discipline, and sheer force to withstand these ethereal terrors. Would you like detailed voice modulation, tips, or visual stock footage? Suggestions for dramatic every hero must face an enemy. For the Space Marines and humanity, they confront some of the deadliest foes the galaxy has ever known. The Imperium's enemies come in many terrifying forms: Xenos, heretics, and entities born of chaos and corruption. Each enemy presents unique threats that test the Space Marines' strength, courage, and resolve. First, the Tyranids, living nightmares from beyond the stars. These bioengineered horrors descend in unstoppable swarms, consuming entire planets in ravenous hunger. They attack without mercy, overwhelming even the most disciplined defenders. Space Marines fight to hold the line against the darkness they bring, often facing death by sheer numbers. Then, the Orc Savage, brutal warriors fueled by violence and chaos. Their crude technology and barbaric tactics mask a terrifying bloodlust. Battles with orcs are vicious, chaotic melees where survival often depends on raw strength and unyielding will. The Elder Ancient and enigmatic wield psychic powers and advanced technology that challenge the Marines in unforeseen ways. The machines awaken from eons of sleep with cold precision and unrelenting force, erasing all life in their path. The greatest betrayal comes from within, the Chaos Space Marines. These fallen warriors forsook their oaths, twisted by dark gods into monstrous shadows of their former selves. They know all the tactics, strengths, and weaknesses of their loyal brethren, making every encounter a deadly test of survival and faith. Perhaps the deadliest of all are the demonic entities from the Warp Malevolent, supernatural beings that prey on both body and soul. Space Marines rely on faith, psychic discipline, and sheer force to withstand these ethereal terrors. The story of the Space Marines is far from over. While their legendary past is steeped in blood and honor, their future is a story of constant evolution and adaptation. As new threats emerge across the galaxy, the Space Marines are not standing still. They innovate, melding ancient traditions with cutting-edge technology to ensure that humanity's defenders remain more powerful than ever. New power armor variants incorporate the latest in energy shielding, enhanced mobility, and adaptive camouflage, pushing battlefield survivability to new heights. Recruits undergo AI-driven training simulations to prepare for increasingly complex warfare, learning to fight across dimensions, in zero gravity, and even in the treacherous warp. Biological enhancements continue to advance as well. Gen Seed research is yielding new breakthroughs, improving resilience, cognitive function, and even unlocking latent psychic potential in emerging recruits. These advances promise to produce the next generation of Space Marines, faster, stronger, sharper, and more versatile than ever before. Yet amid all these changes, the core mission endures: to protect humanity from annihilation, to uphold the Emperor's will, and to inspire hope in the darkest corners of existence. Each new Marine steps into a legacy that spans millennia with unbroken chains of sacrifice, valor, and brotherhood. If the future of the Space Marines inspired you, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell for more incredible deep dives into legendary warriors. Tell us in the comments what part of the Space Marine journey. Every test is compounded by chronic sleep deprivation weeks, with little to no rest to see who can perform at peak levels when utterly exhausted. Remember, the Space Marines don't just fight physical enemies, they wage war against alien threats, traitor legions, and even insidious psychic forces. The selection process reflects these dangers, training warriors who won't break when terror and chaos abound. But strength and mental toughness alone aren't enough. Loyalty to the Emperor and the Code of Honor must be etched into the very soul of every recruit. Betrayal or hesitation doesn't just disqualify you, it means death. Potential Space Marines are also evaluated for strategic thinking and the instinct to act decisively in moments when hesitation costs lives. They are trained to think like soldiers, leaders, and saints all at once. The selection doesn't just separate the strong from the weak, it separates the living from the legends. Only a fraction make it through, but those who do become immortal in service. So, what happens to those who survive the selection? They don't just move on, they enter a whole new phase, the transformation, a deep, painful, and irreversible change that turns men into legends. If you think you could make it through this brutal crucible, comment below with Survivor. And don't miss part 3, where we unlock the secrets of transformation, the gene seed implants and enhancements that make Space Marines more than human. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon to join us for the next step into legend. Transformation is only the beginning. To become a true Space Marine, raw power must be honed by relentless discipline, rigorous training, and mastery of countless skills. After surviving the genetic recruits enter the warrior phase, a time where the body, mind, and spirit are pushed to new extremes. This training isn't just about fighting, it's about becoming a perfect synthesis of soldier, tactician, and guardian. Imagine training for years in weapons mastery alone, from the brutal close quarters combat using chainswords and combat knives, to the expert handling of the iconic bolter weapon capable of firing explosive rounds, powerful enough to punch through enemy armor. Every recruit spends countless hours learning advanced marksmanship, understanding ballistic trajectories even in zero gravity or harsh environments. Training also demands mastery of hand-to-hand combat. Space Marines are taught to defeat enemies with their bare hands if necessary, fighting techniques that blend military discipline with brutal efficiency. Beyond personal combat skills, recruits engage in battle simulations that test their ability to lead squads, strategize under pressure, and adapt to ever-changing war zones. These war games mimic the chaos of real battles. Our official enemy forces, surprise attacks, environmental hazards, and high-stress command decisions. It's here that mental toughness and quick thinking are sharpened into weapons themselves. The physical conditioning itself is staggeringly intense. Days start before dawn, with exhaustive runs, weight training, obstacle courses that challenge every muscle, and endurance swims or zero-G drills. Rest is minimal, and recruits learn to function under constant fatigue, simulating the exhaustion of prolonged combat. But it's not just about brute force. Discipline runs deeper than muscles. Every recruit learns the sacred codes of the chapter they will serve. Ethics, loyalty, and honor are drilled into their very souls. They are taught that the power they wield is a responsibility to protect the innocent, uphold justice, and preserve humanity's future. And this training is never truly over. Even experienced Space Marines continuously sharpen their skills, study new tactics, and enhance their mental resilience between battles. Only through this unyielding regimen can they maintain the edge necessary to face the galaxy's deadliest threats. After years of preparation, the day finally arrives. The first real test beyond training, the baptism by fire. Your very first mission as a Space Marine. This moment is the ultimate crucible where theory meets reality, and every lesson you've learned is put to the ultimate test. The first mission is never easy. Unlike simulated drills, this is chaos in its rawest form, predictable enemies, hostile terrain, and the crushing weight of responsibility. New Marines are deployed to the front lines of brutal conflicts, fighting off alien invasions, quelling rebellions, or defending sacred worlds from annihilation. Imagine the adrenaline surging through your veins as you charge into battle. The roar of bolters, the flash of explosions, the unrelenting pressure to stay alive while protecting your brothers. Communications buzz with orders and updates. Tactical decisions must be made in split seconds. When hesitation means death, you quickly learn the true meaning of trust. As your squad becomes more than comrades there, your lifeline. Every battle tests everything you've trained for. Your strength, endurance, marksmanship, leadership, and unbreakable will. You'll face moments where instincts override logic, where courage comes from sheer determination to survive and complete the mission. For many new recruits, the first mission is the hardest. Many don't come back, but those who survive earn their place amongst the legends. It's a formative moment when fear turns to resolve, uncertainty turns to purpose, and a recruit becomes a Space Marine in the truest sense. After the chaos of battle fades, the warriors return not as individuals, but as brothers. This brotherhood is at the core of their strength. It's a bond unlike any other, built on shared sacrifice, trust, and an ironclad code. Between missions, Space Marines live a disciplined existence. Their days are filled with maintenance of their bodies, their armor, and their weapons. Every bolt must be polished, every servo joint checked, every weapon calibrated. Perfection in preparation means survival in battle. Training never truly stops. They push their physical limits daily to remain in peak condition, because the next battle could come at any moment. Rituals and sacred oaths reinforce their purpose and dedication. They chant litanies of faith and honor, swear loyalty anew to their chapter and the Emperor, and remember the fallen from their ranks. Their code is strict and unyielding. Warrior must embody duty, humility, and sacrificial courage. New Marines learn from veterans, not just in combat tactics, but in understanding what it truly means to live as a Space Marine. Brotherhood means carrying the legacy forward, teaching the next generation the sacred balance of strength and honor. It's a tough existence, marked by discipline and sacrifice. Yet these warriors find pride and meaning in their identity, knowing they protect humanity's future. Their strength is amplified not only in battle, but in these quieter moments of resolve and reflection. If the idea of brotherhood and unwavering loyalty inspires you, comment brotherhood below and hit the like button. Next up, the final chapter, sacrifice and legacy. What does it really mean to give everything for a cause greater than oneself? Subscribe and turn on notifications now to see the epic conclusion. Every journey has a price. For Space Marines, that price is sacrifice. To become one of the Emperor's finest warriors is to accept a life of fan, a short one, of relentless battles, loss, and pain. Many will never return from wars. Others return permanently changed, bearing physical wounds and scars deeper than flesh. Sacrifice is woven into the very fabric of their existence. It's a constant companion in every mission, every fight, every step. But for true Space Marines, sacrifice is not a burden. It's an honor. It's the ultimate expression of their devotion to humanity's survival. Their legacy is written in the tales of heroism that inspire generations, stories of courage against impossible odds, of unyielding faith, and of brothers standing shoulder to shoulder in the face of annihilation. Theirs is a legacy that transcends. Tima, beacon of hope in a dark galaxy. Every Space Marine is part of this unbroken chain of sacrifice and valor. They carry the memories of those who came before them. Man prepared the way for those yet to come. Their battles shape the fate of worlds and the destiny of mankind itself. The call usually arrives quite suddenly. Some are scouted from the toughest military units on frontier worlds. Others from remote colonies where survival has hardened their bodies and minds. Some receive the message through official channels, while others find themselves plucked from obscurity by mysterious agents, the Adeptus Mechanicus or chapter recruiters, who see potential in their strength, grit, or sheer will. It's not just a job offer or an honor, it's a binding contract. Accepting it means devoting your entire life to a cause far greater than yourself. It means relinquishing your old identity and embracing a future where you fight in endless wars against threats no one else dares to face. To answer the call is to be chosen for something extraordinary, but it's also a harsh turning point. The reality, few who hear the summons actually make it through the process. The physical demands will push you beyond what you thought possible. The mental strain will test your resolve. And the transformation that awaits will change you forever, physically, mentally, spiritually. They don't just want soldiers, they want warriors molded by fire, sharpened by sacrifice. When the call comes, you either accept your destiny or you fade back into the shadows of the galaxy. For those who choose to answer, their lives will never be the same. The pilgrimage from hopeful recruit to Space Marine is a crucible of epic challenges and profound sacrifice. But before you get there, there's something even more profound than the transformation ahead. The meaning behind this legendary brotherhood. It's not just about power or prestige. It's about protecting billions across countless worlds. And that's why the call to duty is so captivating and terrifying. It's about becoming a guardian of humanity itself. If this moment gave you chills, smash that like button because the story's only just beginning. Subscribe and ring the bell. And in part 2, we'll reveal the brutal, no-compromise selection process separating the ordinary from the extraordinary. Could you survive the first test? After answering the call to duty, the next step is the most grueling, the selection process. This is where potential recruits are put through hell and back to prove they have what it takes, not just physical strength, but ironclad mental resilience. The recruitment centers are far from ordinary training gyms. Here, recruits face trials engineered to push the human body to its absolute limits and beyond. Think endurance tests so severe they would break even the toughest athletes. You're not just measured by your physical abilities, you're tested on your will to survive, your tactical thinking under pressure, and your unyielding loyalty. The physical trials include extreme endurance runs through brutal environments, scorching heat, freezing cold, toxic atmospheres designed to weed out the weak. Many don't even make it past these early tests. But survival is only half the battle. Psychological evaluations push recruits to their breaking points. Using hyper-advanced simulation technology, candidates are plunged into scenarios so realistic their minds struggle to distinguish simulation from reality, facing overwhelming odds, betraying and trusting allies, confronting fears that lurk deep in the subconscious. Only those who can keep their minds clear and adapt fast are worthy. Every test is compounded by chronic sleep deprivation weeks, with little to no rest to see who can perform at peak levels when utterly exhausted. Remember, the Space Marines don't just fight physical enemies, they wage war against alien threats, traitor legions, and even insidious psychic forces. The selection process reflects these dangers, training warriors who won't break when terror and chaos abound. But strength and mental toughness alone aren't enough. Loyalty to the Emperor and the Code of Honor must be etched into the very soul of every recruit. Betrayal or hesitation doesn't just disqualify you, it means death. Potential Space Marines are also evaluated for strategic thinking and the instinct to act decisively in moments when hesitation costs lives. They are trained to think like soldiers, leaders, and saints all at once. Cut briefly to a veteran Marine reflecting. The selection doesn't just separate the strong from the weak, it separates the living from the legends. Only a fraction make it through, but those who do become immortal in service. So, what happens to those who survive the selection? They don't just move on. They enter a whole new phase, the transformation, a deep, painful, and irreversible change that turns men into legends. Welcome to the Forge, the place where humans are reborn as legends. After surviving the brutal selection, recruits face the most harrowing phase, transformation. This is no ordinary upgrade. It is a complete rewriting of biology, a fusion of ancient technology and living science that amplifies every aspect of the human form. At the heart of this process is the implantation of the gene seed, a mysterious biological blueprint carried within each recruit, derived from the genetic material of the Emperor's original Primarch sons. The gene seed is the key to the Space Marines' legendary power. The gene seed implants trigger the growth of entirely new organs. These include the secondary heart, which doubles blood flow and oxygen delivery, fueling endurance and strength, a reinforced skeletal system, augmented with mineralized bone to resist fractures, accelerated muscle growth for superhuman power, lungs, engineered to function in toxic environments, a modified liver that neutralizes poisons, superior eyesight and hearing developed through ocular and auditory enhancers. But it's not just the body that changes. The brain undergoes extensive rewiring through neuroenhancements that boost reflexes to near-instant reaction times and filter pain signals to keep the Marine fighting even when wounded. These transformations are excruciating and many fail to endure. The process can take weeks or months, with survivors pushed to the edge of pain and consciousness. Yet, this physical metamorphosis is only part of the story. The recruit's mind must be reshaped to accept a new reality. A warrior bound to serve the Emperor, with unbreakable loyalty and clarity of purpose. This is achieved through mental conditioning, indoctrination, and sacred rites designed to bind the Marine's spirit to the chapter's code and mission. Cut to depictions of mental conditioning chambers, meditation rituals, and oaths. The transformation is irreversible. Once the GN seed implants take hold, the Marine is no longer fully human. He belongs to the chapter, to the Emperor, and to the battlefield. By the end of this phase, the recruits are no longer mere mortals. They're hardened warriors forged to protect humanity from threats beyond imagination. After answering the call to duty, the next step is the most grueling, the selection process. This is where potential recruits are put through hell and back to prove they have what it takes, not just physical strength, but ironclad mental resilience. The recruitment centers are far from ordinary training gyms. Here, recruits face trials engineered to push the human body to its absolute limits and beyond. Think endurance tests so severe they would break even the toughest athletes. You're not just measured by your physical abilities, you're tested on your will to survive, your tactical thinking under pressure, and your unyielding loyalty. The physical trials include extreme endurance runs through brutal environments, scorching heat, freezing cold, toxic atmospheres designed to weed out the weak. Many don't even make it past these early tests. But survival is only half the battle. Psychological evaluations push recruits to their breaking points. Using hyper-advanced simulation technology, candidates are plunged into scenarios so realistic their minds struggle to distinguish simulation from reality, facing overwhelming odds, betraying and trusting allies, confronting fears that lurk deep in the subconscious. Only those who can keep their minds clear and adapt fast are worthy.